Good evening, everyone. I hope you're doing okay. Good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you are. Greetings to you all. Welcome to another video. I just want to show and elaborate on some things I said before that have reached me as a question from people who didn't get it quite well, and I want to just clarify that, okay? And I'll resume making posts and bringing videos online on how to a beginner friendly one, because what I did there was just a crash course, just a quick move to try to explain things in the best way I could, and many people did not quite get it. So I'm trying to simplify the whole thing and take it from. I also want to teach time counting and price counting for a bonus, so to be to people who are interested. So yeah, so let's figure this thing out together, right? So from here, I want you to focus on this place right here. Okay, this one. Look at, pay attention to the crosshair, please. The crosshair is what I'm using to point, not any other thing, just the crosshair. So we start from this part. One, two, three, four, five. Notice how 5 and 3 are in convergence. He said he does not quite understand convergence and divergence, right? We can have a divergence as wide as 3 and 2 and no more. That's what I've noted. That's what I've noticed. Okay, you can have a convergence of the highest of convergence occur within 2 and 3. Okay, you can have more than that in terms of convergence. That is, you can have 1 and 2, 1 and 3 convergence, but not 1 and 4. That's my personal experience, and I would want you to also check it out for yourself in the charts. Okay, go through it. You'll find things that agrees with you. Okay, so I don't like to go as high as 4 in trying to find convergence and divergence. Most of the times I stop at 2. I prefer my convergence to be very tight and close, so that I will know exactly this right here. The gap is wide enough. This is acceptable. You can have a perfect convergence of 5 and 5, 3 and 3, 7 and 7, etc. Okay, but perfect convergence like that, for me, in my experience, rare, but they're not impossible. That's the thing, okay? And they are very good. They're sweet, okay? They are very sweet. They have very strong impulsive moves right after they agree like that. It's perfect. It's always good. So notice how 3 and 5 are convergence, and we said when numbers converge, we expect two of two things to occur. Okay, we begin to either see a consolidation begin, or if we don't have a consolidation, it begins to retrace, right? First convergence was down here between 2 and 1. Notice 2, the red one, the first candle was 1, second candle was 2, and the third candle is 3, right? But notice that the third candle's changes vibration. We had a red candle, we were vibrating bearishly, and all of a sudden we switch into bullish vibration. That is what? That is a different form of vibration altogether. That makes it very complex, okay? Because you're beginning a new count here, right? And this new count is already giving me a suggestion that, okay, we are retracing from our earlier move. Notice we have 1, 2, right? And then a new vibration comes in. 3. This 3 becomes 1 again in a new count. Why? Because I told you that within certain kind of moves, every time you have a candle change that has an obvious high or low formed around it, it's a place to begin a count again. So we have 1, 2, 2 ended with this red candle, and then 3, 4, 5. Okay? But the first convergence is between these two candles, 1 and 2. So when I see this candle begin to change its move, I know that okay, we're retracing because we already have 1 here and 2, 1 here and 2, and now the third candle is a different color altogether. So now we have 3 being a different candle, and I know that 1 One and two are good convergences. They're almost perfect convergences. So I'm expecting a retracement within that. So we've been bearish. So if I am to expect a retracement, where would the retracement will be? It should be bullish, right? So we go up higher into this order block and then push lower. Okay, so the retracement started down here and it vibrated upward into this place, right? Where another new convergence was introduced into the market between 3 and 5, right? So 3 and 5 converges here again, a new vibration kicks in after that. And what we experience right after that is that the market starts to vibrate lower until another convergence where retracement would come in. We have one, two, three, right? This right here is a different count from the three we had here, four, five, six. When you when you begin to count from this five, let's continue from five, six, seven, eight. Eight stops right here, right? And then we come back again to this same spot and continue three, four, five, six. Notice six, eight. Convergence of two. Okay, six, eight. We have two space. Okay, between six and eight. It just takes two more numbers to make them eight and eight convergence, right? So we have this right here being a convergence of two between six and eight. So after this convergence here, we see a retracement kick in, right? Came in up into this, right? We have six down here and eight, right? Let's continue. Eight, nine, 10, 11, right? And then six, seven, eight, nine. Another two, right? Are you taking note of that? All of these convergences create a new move. We've retraced a convergence occur, and then now we kicked again lower. We change gear. So once this convergence occur, we change gear, or should I say, a move against the initial move comes in to play. And in divergence we experience two things. One of two things. We either expand. Think of it this way. Expansion occurs during divergence, right? That's one thing. And then also it can reverse in total. That is a full-time reversal. That is, if we've been on a bearish trend, if you experience a divergence in your count as the trend was bearish, just expect a complete bullish move to the upside. That's just how simple it is. Just know that divergence creates, primarily in the most simplest form, they create a very, very huge chance for you to catch the best reversals and the best, best, best of it when you learn to be razor sharp. Okay? Expansions are when you begin to see green, 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 green candles without any red. Most of the times, something looking like this within this captured frame. Or should I say price delivery right here? This is an imperfect example of an expansion right here. We only have greens and no red. So this is it right here. I'm sure Morpheus won't be very happy with me teaching all these things online. He would probably say I'm kind of copying his things, but well, we're all in this together and we're just trying to make sense of a very complex model of, or should I say, technique he introduced and has not quite made very clear to us how these things actually deliver. For me, I primarily don't need his teachings anymore because I have an edge and I have an understanding of how he applies these things and how candles literally a print. Okay, but that's not important. The important thing is trying to get you up to speed on how his concepts work how I was able to use his concept to find the real thing. And look at it. This in a simplistic way, go through your chart and try to make sense of every single divergence and convergence you can find, and you begin to see some things occur. Okay. Now I've just taught convergence, and you can see how precisely they create fluctuations. That most likely, should I say, they change the vibration. If we've been vibrating to the upside, once the convergence occur, we get we get kind of a change in direction temporarily. Another one comes in, and a change in direction occurs, and you begin to notice. If you've been noting is a vibration of two interval in convergence, then expect that whenever you have that gap of two again in your next count, yeah, between these special numbers I showed you, not not all the numbers converging and divergence are of relevance. There are some primary key numbers. Take for example, let me list these numbers out for you one after the other, so that these are the numbers you primarily should be interested in. Most of them are prime numbers, but listen carefully. You won't be able to make sense of this concept until you know these natural numbers. They are numbers you can find in nature. They are literally like numbers that are important in nature. 1, 3, and then 5. Forget 4, okay? And then 7, alright? 9, 11. Okay, this is an issue with 10. It's a perfect 5, okay? That's 5, 5. It has high vibration. And then 11, okay? Don't know why 11 and 10 are important, but yeah, 10 because of the number of consolidation. Okay, consolidations can end at 10 counts, also end at 21 or 20. In my experience, I've seen that. And then 13, these numbers are very important. Just write them somewhere, and these are the numbers we're interested in when we see them converge or diverge. Okay, and sometimes you don't really need to be exact within these numbers, but it's wiser if you can spot them. Okay, in it's more important if you can spot them in your entire approach towards your count. Okay, so we have 13. The next number I would like you to also put a very close eye on is 15. And then we have 17, and then we have 21. Okay, 20 is hidden 11. 20 is like 11. It's a number for reversal. Okay, so 20 and 21, then 24, then 31. Okay, so write these numbers somewhere. They're not random, but they are the numbers you should watch out for every time you're doing your count. When they align perfectly, when they diverge perfectly, when they converge perfectly, a convergence of 5 and 7 is a difference of 2, and 9 and 10 is a difference of 1. Now, I want you to always look at it this way, right? Don't force these numbers into the chart, okay? When you're working with them, make sure they're there. If they're not there, always double check your counts. If they're not there, don't force them into being trying to add or subtract whatsoever. It'll just mess up your entire count. Okay? So to the best of my knowledge, this is how you apply convergence. You can find that you can use that to catch every single retracement if you're smart enough to be able to backtest them many, or should I say multiple times. You would get to understand how they applied. But it's a kind of a complex thing. If you put if you put it all together, there's a simple mathematical formula you can use to get those, but not to be seen online. Okay, so I want you to also I want you to also try something out. Okay, try applying divergence. Okay, remember I told you that the divergence have a wide span of numbers. Okay, it should be wide enough to be like two or three number difference. A good divergence would be 11 and say 4, 11 and say 15, and then 9 and say 5, or 7 and 3. Those are good. Those are very good. 7 and 3, they're literally the best kind of divergence when you want to really catch expansions. Okay, so it doesn't really matter what you're using them for, as long as you backtest them, you'll be more accustomed to how these things are applied, and they'll make more sense to you. Okay, so one thing he also asks in terms of question is how to align time frames, and I want to start from the hourly time frame in a sense. Okay, so that at least we can be able to say understand each other, right? So yeah, all right. So let's say you want to start from the 1 hour time frame, right? You want to catch, for example, let's say this move right here. Let's go short the position, and we want to catch this guy down into this guy, right? This is our target. Let's just say we're targeting this low right here, this low, right? We want to enter up here with the tightest stop loss, maybe within this high, okay, with some few pips. We want to get that, okay? And we want to start from this guy right here. Let's put tick lines on that so we can be able to get what we are looking for. Okay, and so basically, um, you'd want to start your count somewhere very obvious, right? And in this case, you're using a bearish sequence to get in alignment with what price is doing. So if I were to take this entry, um, this is how it started. Okay, first of all, get the 1 hour time frame count. Remember, we start from the daily, but this is just an example, and I kind of want to show you how it's done down to the lowest time frame. So this is one, right? I'm looking at price action, and all of this side to the right is not seen after this long line we're having here. So whatever is on the other side, we don't know yet. Okay, all we know is that we took out a high, and whatsoever the next candle after this green candle is our one if it's bearish. Okay, so we now have a one, and remember our entry point is on this candle right here. So this candle right here. Okay, so what I would want you to do is that what are the sequences we use? Think of them. Sequences are generated, they are not actually constant in most cases. They're generated using a mathematical formula, and it's a very simple principle, trust me. Let's make this 4 first and then you correct it later. So you know where we're entering at. Okay, so we have this count right here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, right? So we have our seventh count on this candle right here. All right, so This is what we have currently presented before us, right? This is 7. Now, um, we're going to be running a bit faster from here on out. 7, 8, 9, 10. 7, 8, 9. This is 10. Okay. So all this while, right? I'm looking at price action and we have our first count here. It goes down and 3 wasn't bearish. 3 wasn't bullish. 1, 2, 3, So I just immediately know that, okay, we're not in the 137 sequence. Okay. So this goes on, and the fourth candle still bearish, no move whatsoever. And then all of a sudden, a new move comes in, and we have 1 and 2 in convergence. So I know retracement is bound to occur within this region, but I don't know where it's bound to end, right? So we have 5, 6, 7, right? And think of it, this is also 1, 2, 3. What is 7 and 3? A divergence. Thank you for saying a divergence. And what do you see happens after 7 and 3's collision? An expansion to the downside, right? A fast move, an impulsive fast move to the downside. That is what a divergence is. Do you understand? This right here, this right here begins a new count. It's our 1, and it's aligning exactly perfectly with 7. Did you note that? Okay, in the second count, 7 and 3 are in collision, and we know that the difference of that is 4, because 4 plus 3 is 7. So that's a massive divergence on the part. Okay, and think of it, it's within one of the numbers of interest, which is 7, and at the same time is in connection directly to 3. So what did I say when these things collide perfectly in that manner? I told you it's the best kind of N3 format, okay, in terms of catching reversals. So this is it right here. 3 and 7 in collision, and we already have it on 1 time frame, right? We've already counted, right, from this region right here up into 7, right? And we know that it's in convergence, it's in divergence with 3. So we've been going higher, so we know that a move is about to occur within that region, but we don't know what time we're to enter. So we go down to the lower time frame, which is the 15 minutes time frame in this regard, and we take another count, which is the best kind, okay, is razor sharp. Now we know that within this region we have 7, right? Okay, kind of is very annoying when it doesn't transfer the count down to the lower time frame, but I think we have to change the interval to have that result. Okay, so let's change the interval, time interval, all intervals, um yeah, okay, intervals, all intervals. I want to see them when we go down to the lower time frame. That's why I have to do this. I'm sorry. Okay, so once we go down to the lower time frame, it should show us exactly those regions. Yes, thank God it's here. Okay, so now we have 1 as being this candle, right? But we begin another count from here that would reach us to understanding where 7 ends. A new count has to begin right here, up into 7, which is here, right? Remember, we're trying to catch the next move downward, right? And I show you how divergence has given us the exact direction towards which to aim, okay? So now we begin another count here, trying to figure out what these futuristic events of this 7 and 3 convergence, what is it actually going to end at? Okay, what time would be the perfect point for us to be able to catch this reversal, right? Or let's just say this expansion to the downside. Now, if we have this entire move here being bullish, the next move should be bearish if we are having a divergence around this region and an expansion within this region that actually signals us a changing trend. So now we've been going higher in a retracement format, and now an expansion kind of divergence occurs, and we're trying to pinpoint what candle is best and precise for the entry on the lower time frame, which is the 15 minutes time frame. So we'll begin something as simple as identifying the next low, right? Sorry, I'm not on my trading desk, so I'm not using um I'm not using my laptop for this. I am using my phone. So in any case, we have one here because it's the lowest green candle, right? And then I think I'll use the range though. It's far easier, and yeah, it's far easier to do it with the range tool. So when you count up into this place, you have 7 bars. Um, let's let's count it using our normal eyes. Let's eyeball it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? Remember we said 9 is the number of retracements? Cool. That's what you see here. This is 9. Now 9 is in perfect alignment with 7 and 3. That's a powerful, very powerful decision point. Take note of that. Okay. So these are decision points. We have 9, 7, and 3 in perfect alignment. That's like a cue box. For me, if I see that occur, that's like my cue box. Okay. So within this place right here, I would name this place my cue box. But guess what? What else can you see? Did you notice that new accounts exist within this entire general count of 9? Yes. Also, you can start from this green candle and you can align it to this one, and you see that there's a divergence between 2 and 9 right here. You can begin from this other green candle right here and you still find a divergence of 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 9. Okay, so this is not random. So aside from this obvious divergence clearly showing you that something is about to occur, something is about to occur. I mean, 9 usually I told you is the number for retracements. Can you see how perfectly it gave us 9 candles before the real move begin? Lower? Yes, that is important you take note of. 9 is the number of retracement. Most of your retracements will occur within 9 candles. Either the 9 candles will have contraction that would make it longer to maybe 13 or 15 retracements, but if you count the number of the bearish candles within the bullish candles, you would find out that it will result in 9 in the retracement, or whatever kind of account you're doing, most likely it would result in a 9. Okay, 5 retracements also constantly show that 5 can actually be a number of change and retracement in some instances. It takes 5 candles, sometimes 3 candles. Okay, so retracement occur within these regions. And now that we know that this is 9, okay, we can now go down to 5 minutes time frame to refine the region where 9 would occur for a perfect entry. Okay, Now I don't like to go lower than 5, but you can if you want to. I don't like anything lower than normal time frame I have in my control, and it usually is easier to just use that. I think with this video you should understand a bit about divergence and convergence and try your best to study them also. Now in the Q box, within the Q box, we have how many divergence now? Usually I would write these numbers on a piece of paper in front of me. I have 7, 3, divergence, sorry, and then 9 also within the 5 minutes time frame. So 7, 3, and 9, we have a perfect alignment within that region. So I would name that place my kill box, and then I'll go down to the lower time frame and try to make sense of that also. Remember, we don't see 9. We're looking for the 5 minutes count. Okay, so we can begin either down here. This could be our 1, and trying to know where this move would end. We could start down here or here, which I would suggest we start here. It will give the same outcome no matter how you put it. Okay, it's still the same outcome. Don't worry about it. So I think we should do 2 counts. Okay, just do 2 counts. I mean, come on. It's not like as though you have um like all day, but it's for a precise entry point. You have to make sure it's precise in most instances. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? So we have 12, almost at 13, right? So we have 13 as the next candle. So the first count ended at 13, right? Which is one of our sweet spots in terms of numbers, right? This is one of our sweet spots. So we have 13 right here in convergence, in divergence to all those other numbers that we had from the higher time frame, which is 9 and 7 and 3. Okay, so we have 9, 7, and 3. Okay, have you ever taken a note and you'd see TDT students, like time dilation theory students, post something like 1 minute, 1 minute, oh sorry, hourly 7, 15 minutes 3, and maybe 5 minutes 13, and 3 at 13, and then exit at maybe 21 or 50 something, or maybe 30 something, depending on how much candle expansion is to be anticipated. Okay, so what they are primarily telling you is that on the on the 1 hour time frame, our count was at 7. On the 15 minutes time frame, it's aligned with 3 or maybe 9. Okay, primarily 9, I think. Yeah. So on the 5 minutes time frame, it's now giving me 13. So these numbers in convergence with each other, when they align within the same kill box, within the same frame, they don't have to be on the same candle or within the same framework. Okay, it's within that same hour from 3 o'clock to 3:45. It shouldn't be 4. Okay, should not have that much of an expanse if you're trying to be razor sharp and precise. It should be within the same hourly candle, so that at least your entry will be razor sharp and clean. Okay, so we have the first count as starting, ending the count. Now let's take it from here, this other place, second one. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 candles. 13 and 6 seems to be a very large, or should I say wide divergence in terms of divergence. Okay, so that should kind of give you a clear opening and a knowledge of a fast move to the downside. Okay, pay attention to one thing, even if you're not going to be able to get any other thing today, is that divergence and what exactly helps you get the fastest moves. Convergence help you to anticipate consolidations or retracements, and it's not very easy to spot on the first few trials. You have to do this over and over and over and over and over again. many times. And when I say many times, don't get discouraged, okay? You can sit with this for a few weeks and you get it, depending on how fast you are learning things. I'm a very slow learner, so I sat with this for many, many weeks. Oh, no, no, not weeks, days. Yeah, days primarily. So I use days primarily to get exactly everything. It was just within a few days, and I was able to crack price. Price is very easy to count. It's so easy to count. But the problem is time. Time is my current concern, and it's not very easy. Okay, it has many macros, and many of them has cogs you can't even begin to imagine. Once you uncover that, it becomes razor sharp and precise. From there, you could target every single move. Right now, I can time the market, but not to the point that that I would love or call a point of satisfaction. And I want you to have the same hunger, okay? Go into your chart and try to make sense of what I showed you today. It will not be easy for some of you, okay? You have questions. That's why I said I'm going to make a more beginner friendly series, beginning from vortex mathematics down into every single detail of how to count price and time and how to align them together. Okay? So please don't get spoofed. I'm preparing something very important in the winter times of the entire year. I intend to release more content within the winter period, heading towards December into August, September, October, November, December. We'll have a more fun and refined time with price action, and we'll do a lot and we'll cover quite a lot of ground. Then I will take one piece of information at a time in the order at which I was led to understand this concept, or should I say hinted by the inner circle Morpheus trader who is still anonymous and has not continued his private group whatsoever. He has not even taught divergence and convergence. You see, that's the problem. Okay, because he would be more enriched because he has more experience and more grounds. But his mentorship is $100,000, and not everyone can cover that. Okay, it's quite expensive. So it's important that we make use of those few of us who have been with him the longest, who have also been able to have access to some of his content, and would be able to guide you and give you a little bit of our understanding of how to walk around and maneuver within these price moves. Okay, and it's quite simple in most cases. For most people, they find this system of trading a bit more simpler, and I think it's true. Okay, because once if you get to begin to apply the formulas that truly books this and that truly prints this entire thing, you become an animal. I promise you, I'll show you retracements, retracement reversals, continuations. I'll literally take live trades in front of you, just telling you exactly where to expect retracement, exactly where to expect reversals, and you get to see them. But I won't actually give you the formulas for them. That would, that would, that would kind of put me in trouble. But it's kind of simpler when you don't take this entire information and sleep on it. You you burn the midnight oil and look into the charts. I promise you it's not rocket science. It's something very simple. Okay. I promise you, if you give it time a little, you'll sit with it, you begin to see the things I saw those days back when I sat to learn this thing. Okay. It's not very, very difficult. I promise you this. Just give it time, okay? Sit with it for time and you'll get full info on how it operates. I promise you. Promise you. If you're serious, you'll get it. If you're not, you might just fly at you completely like bullshit and vanish. Okay. So pay attention. Pay the price to sit down and learn. Practice convergence and divergence. Know the concepts behind how they actually do function. And what we use to know retracements in the simplest form and most simplest manner is to
try to figure out exactly what sequence is in play next. Okay, so if you enter the 13th, what sequence is in play next? Okay, then from that you'll be able to know. Okay, as price is fluctuating, you'll be able to know. So you would enter within this region, within the 13th candle. Okay, can find. Okay, we did it on the hourly, so it should be there. Yeah. So you would enter on the 13th candle on the 5 minutes time frame, and you'd exit down here on this red candle. After this low has been taken out, you just exit the market after the expansion. Okay. So that's how we catch these moves. They're not rocket science, they're very simplistic in their approach, and you don't even have to even be a degree holder or a veteran in price action to be able to get candle counting. It's simple. That's what makes it so easy for many people to follow. It's not the be all end all, it's not the perfect system of operation, but it's something we've never seen before and it's razor sharp and precise. So I would caution that you give it time, okay? Sorry again, I did this on phone. I promise I'll get to my station and do a better work in terms of teaching you how to begin this at the beginner's level. I believe that this is kind of complex for a lot of people. It was for me from the beginning until it became too simple, okay, for words, okay. And yeah, we just opened. Thank God, we just opened. Well, it's 11 p.m. where I'm at, and well, we just opened. So Mac, just get a Mac and annotate our opening price for this week, and watch carefully how price would reverberate and kind of come back to those regions as the week unfolds. So it's like the new week opening gap just popped in right now, so you could take a look at it and well tinker with it for a little bit. Um, God, I'm seeing so many things I wish I could just speak about online, but it's not safe, it's not wise. But we'll do these things carefully. I'll hint you how to get them in the most secretive way within the videos. And best of luck to you guys. I think I'll see you in the beginner level video. I intend to take it step by step so that these questions will get lessened as time goes and everybody be able to make sense of the most simplistic approach to it. So when I say divergence, you would know what I'm talking about. When I say convergence, you would know what I'm talking about. So let's let's take the simpler approach. Let's go really, really, really beginner level in the next series. Okay, so I'll be doing a series next of the beginner friendly TDT, time dilation theory. This is just to answer a question. So I'll see you in the next videos. Thank you for watching and be safe.